Hey, so in this video, we're going to talk about the estate planning side letter regarding personal effects. So, all right, let me give you a little backup, a little introduction. Most people are fairly general in their estate planning documents, especially when they handwrite their own will. They ought to keep things fairly general and not get too specific about individual items. So most people might say in the bequest part of their handwritten will, might say I leave my estate to my children equally. Some people might get a little fancier and say I leave, 1/5 to be divided among my grandchildren equally, and then the 4/5 I want to be divided among my children equally. But then some people want to, for sentimental reasons, typically they want to leave specific non-titled personal items to certain people. So there's two ways to do it, and I'm going to go through those two ways and really nudge you towards doing it the second way. The first possible way to do it is to put all of that stuff in your handwritten will. So in your handwritten will, it might say, I want my watch to go to my grandson. It might say, I want my wedding band to go to my granddaughter, and it lists, which granddaughter. And then it might say, I want my pocket knife to go to my great-grandson, Jim Bob. And so all those things get put in your will, and if you change your mind 6 months later, a year later, 3 years later, you got to go back and rewrite your will. And it gets to be a hassle, but probably the bigger hassle is when you die and your family gets together to go through the probate proceeding, through the court proceeding. It gets to be more of a hassle because all those people that you named to get all of the little personal items, they're now involved in your probate, and a judge isn't going to release estate assets to your children until the judge has received all of the signed acknowledgments and has assurance that all those people that you named in the will to get the personal items that have no value, judge is going to want to make sure that they get those things before a judge releases any other assets to the children. So it's just a hassle. And so what I want to encourage you to do, particularly when family relationships are good, is have your handwritten will set up in a way that's fairly simple and general. I leave my estate to my 3 children. And then have a separate, I'll call it a side letter. It's just a letter of instructions. It's not a legal document. Don't try to make it legal. Don't try to make it formal. And it might say something like, I left a will which leaves my estate to my 3 children. However, in this letter to my family, I'm just requesting that you make sure that certain people get certain personal items, and it's important to me, and these items have sentimental value. I want to make sure that my watch goes to my grandson, Freddie. I want to make sure that my wedding band goes to my granddaughter, Tina, and I want to make sure my pocket knife goes to my great-grandson, Jim Bob. And so when you pass away, your 3 children get together and they say, okay, let's see, Dad had a will, and the will leaves his estate to the 3 children equally. And then, oh, look, Dad put this separate letter of instructions to us because he wanted some people to get some certain things. And so, look, it says in Dad's little letter of instructions, he wants his grandson to get his watch. So here, brother, make sure your son gets the watch. Here it is. Dad wanted his granddaughter Tina to get his wedding band. Here, sister, here's Dad's wedding band. Make sure your daughter Tina gets it. And looks like Dad wrote that he wanted to get his great-grandson Jim Bob to get his pocket watch. That's my grandson. I'll give it to him. And so none of those people are involved in your estate settlement. None of the people are involved in any kind of probate matter. It just makes things simpler. Okay, so I do want to encourage you to do the do the formal will, which is going to get filed at the courthouse, and which the judge's office is going to review and going to follow. And that's great for the items that are titled and are the bigger items in your estate. But for those non-titled personal items, often best to just put that in a side letter that you can add to, change, delete anytime, and then those people won't be involved in your estate settlement when you pass away, but Dad will have given you the letter of instructions, which the children are likely to honor because it is a communication from Dad to his kids, and in most cases, kids are gonna honor those types of requests. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Be great if you give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.